सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Today, on a very, very auspicious day, with the grace of Lord Rama, we have assembled here to celebrate the birthday of someone who is never born. That's the interesting thing, right? Bhagavan, consciousness, divinity is that which is never born, never dies. That which is always existing. Sat. So, as it was very beautifully put by Alokji, though we call it as the birthday of Lord Rama, it is actually the unmanifest manifesting in a particular form. So, avatara means avatarati iti avatara, that which comes down. Like you were saying, that which comes down from nirakar to akar. Whereas the rishis are those who have gone from akar to nirakar. So the manifestation of the divinity happens according to environmental vasanas. Due to the need, using the Shakti within called Maya, the divinity manifests at different times for Loka Sangraha, for establishing Dharma, which beautifully Shri Krishna says, in the Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tad atmanam srijami aham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, for the purpose of establishing dharma, the divinity manifests according to environmental vasanas, and when the purpose is over, the drama is over. In the case of a Mahatma, the Sanchita Vasanas are exhausted, and due to the Prarabdha Vasana, the Mahatma exists, and once the Prarabdha Vasana is over, no more birth. So, on this particular day of Navami, Lord Vishnu is supposed to have come in the form of Lord Rama. Now, this name Rama itself is very interesting and inspiring. Ramante iti Ramaha, Ramayati iti Ramaha. Ramante means one who revels, one who enjoys, one who plays sports, one who is reveling in bliss, ananda. Ramayati iti Ramaha means one who makes others, everyone revel in bliss. One of the Bhakta's quality that Shri Krishna mentions in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, he says a Bhakta is one. He talks about 35 qualities. He gives 35 qualities of a Bhakta. And one of the 35 qualities he says, or two qualities rather, you can say so. Bhakta is one who doesn't agitate the world. And Bhakta is one who does not get agitated by the world. Okay. So he says Bhakta is one who does not agitate the world and one who does not get agitated by the world. And we all say we are Bhaktas. We should ask our neighbors. We should ask our spouse. We should definitely ask our children. Right? My son has not come, but I can boldly say so. So, one who does not agitate others, one who does not get agitated by others. That is Bhakta's quality. Here, it is put in positive when you say Rama. One who is in bliss and one who gives bliss. You understand? The more you discuss about Rama, the story of Rama, the more pure you become. In Taittiriya Upanishad, after the knowledge is given, the Upanishadic master gives, it's like graduation ceremony. So the parting advice is given by the Guru. He says so many things. Satyam vada, dharmam chara, atiti devo bhava, all that, all that is there. Now, all that in practice, in one form, is Rama, Lord Rama. So, we have come together to discuss the leadership qualities of Lord Rama. Bhagavad Gita says, a leader is one who sets an example. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha tattad eva itara janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokat tat anuvartate. Verse 21, chapter 3, very important shloka. He says, a leader, Shreshta Purusha, is one who sets a standard. And whatever standard the leader sets, the rest follows. You understand? So, a leader is one who leads by example. And that's why I said, everything that is given in the Taittiriya Upanishad as a message to the Shishya at the end of having given the knowledge is all lived by Shri Rama. So that's the number one quality of a leader. Set an example. In fact, in this particular portion in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, where Sri Krishna mentions this shloka, he also mentions that you live the knowledge and don't talk about it. We do the ulta. We talk about it and we don't live it. This is what we call as double fault in tennis. You understand? In tennis, it's called double fault. It was not exactly the same. I'm just using it to convey something here. So, in the case of Lord Rama, he came down, he lived and went away, setting an example for us to follow. That's the number one quality of a leader. Video is more powerful than the audio, isn't it? I think it's Mark Twain who said so, I'm not sure. He said, what you are speaks so loudly that I can hardly hear what you say. What you are speaks so loudly that I can hardly hear what you say. What defines a being is the quality. And the best test for the inner qualities to manifest is crisis, adversity. You understand? even when you are put in difficult circumstances, even when there is a threat to your existence, do you give up dharma or not? What is your choice? Is comfort, convenience your choice, or conscience your choice? You understand? We always compromise the conscience for comfort and convenience. You will never see that in Lord Rama. You will never ever see that. That is why he is called as Maryada Purushottam. You understand? Because there is no such thing as temptation in his case. Whatever it is, he always took the side of dharma, even at the cost of convenience and comfort. That's one of the greatest quality of a leader. Never to compromise on dharma. So that's why we call him as Maryada Purusha. His commitment was to truth, and that was without attachment. He was extremely qualified to be the leader. And when they were announcing that he is going to be the leader, nobody had any doubts that he is fully qualified. And in fact, people were waiting for him to take over from Dasharatha. It was announced everywhere that he is going to be coronated tomorrow. And the only thing that is certain in life is uncertainty. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. That which is born will die. That which dies will be reborn. In fact, you know this very well, that when we start this event, we will end it also. That's why you came. Right? And that's why Alokji made sure that he announced in the beginning that there is dinner also. Right? Not just food for thought, but food for stomach also. If you are not certain, this fellow has a knack to keep on talking. He doesn't keep quiet at all. I don't know whether he is going to end. So might as well not go to his talk. But you know for sure, this fellow starts on time and finishes on time. So you will be enthusiastic to attend the session. You understand? So, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. The only thing that is certain is uncertainty. And that happened in Lord Ram's life also. It was announced that he is going to be coronated as the king. And people were waiting. Right? Everybody is so enthusiastic. Suddenly, middle of the night, everything changes. We know the story. And he was called and told, you have to go to the forest. Be there for 14 years. Not just go there, be there for 14 years and then come back. You have to spend time there. And in your absence, Bharat will become the king. He was more excited, more joy that his brother is going to become the king. And he knows very well that he is also well qualified. And he is also very qualified. When you read the story, the portions where Bharat comes, it's very difficult to control your tears. You understand? The way he comes and argues with his mother, etc., etc. There is zero interest in the kingdom, which rightfully belongs to him. He is the heir to throne. He is the heir apparent. It was announced. It is not somebody else's throne. You understand? It belongs to him. It is announced that you are going to be the king. And it was taken away in the middle of the night. Absolutely no, upset. No problem. Simply goes. He goes to the forest. Of course, his wife says, I'll come. He didn't call her. He said, you be here. She said, I will come. His brother said he will come. The story goes. Now, in original Ramayana, Valmiki ji says, That night when he was sleeping in forest, he slept as well as he slept in the forest, in the palace. Would that happen to us? You understand? That is the quality of Lord Rama, where there was commitment to truth without attachment. Sukadukke same kritva labha labho jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva na evam papam avapsyasi. Beautiful shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, 38th shloka, chapter 2. Sukadukke same kritva labha labho jaya jayau. Sukha, dukkha, pleasure and pain. Labha, alabha, profit and loss. Jaya, ajaya, means victory and defeat. You should be balanced. Kritva means past tense. Having achieved that balance in sukha, dukkha, labha, alabha, jaya, jaya, tato yuddhaya yujyasva. Then get ready for battle. So first, the most important battle to be conquered is the battle within. You understand? And that's the battle that none of us really give any importance to. But to be a leader, that is the battle you should have won first. Dusron ko jay se pehle khud ko jay kare. If you have conquered the ego, if you have conquered the mind, then the external conquests are just child's play. And that is why, that's the greatest of all strength. That's the greatest of all accomplishments. That's exactly why Mahavira, Vardhaman, was called as Mahavira. He had not gone to any battle of Panipat, 1, 2, Kalinga, nothing. No battle. Yet he is called as Mahavir. What did he conquer? He conquered the ego. You understand? Which is the most difficult thing to conquer. So, you cannot set an example. You cannot be a Maryada Purushottama if you have not conquered your ego, which always demands comfort, which always demands convenience, which always forces you to compromise. Because truth never needs any compromise because it always exists. It doesn't require anybody else to support it. It stands on its own ground. But untruth, which is fake, always requires support. You understand? Always requires some prompt, some support. So, a leader is committed to truth but no attachment. This is very important. You should have a sense of responsibility but no sense of indispensability. What will happen if I am not there? Who will take care? Nothing. You are asked to go? Okay, fine. No problem. You understand? Absolutely zero attachment and zero dependence. Total independence. That's the sign of a leader. So, balanced in sukha, dukkha, labha, alabha, jaya, ajaya. Only a person who doesn't focus on all these things, the focus will always be in the process, not in the result. You understand? Such a person is a great leader. Even in the YouTube, you have this shorts video of Dhoni speaking, giving some interview here and there. If you listen to that, he always says, I give importance to process. I don't give importance to the result. And recently also when India won the T20 World Cup, after that the coach Gautam Gambhir, when he gave an interview, he praised two individuals for it. Do you know who? Who were the two individuals he praised? Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman. Why did he praise them? They are not playing now. He praised them because they were quietly at the background working on youngsters in National Cricket Academy, training them, grooming them, and keeping the process strong and healthy going. You understand? Not bothered about the result, because when the process is taken care of, result is a byproduct. Karmani eva adhikaraha ma phaleshu kadachana. So that you clearly see. While he had commitment to truth without attachment, he had no indifference. That was beautifully seen in Lord Rama when he communicates to his subjects. When they all want to go with him to the forest, he communicates to them and says, listen, I am going because I have to fulfill Pitruvakya Paripalanam. You know, the word that my father had given, and as a son, I have a duty, obligation to set an example. Therefore, I am going. But you all have different duties. You must follow that, not come with me. You understand? There's a poem called Daffodils by William Wordsworth. He says, I wandered lonely as a cloud. He beautifully starts off the poem by saying, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats high over vales and hills, valleys and hills. Wandering is a sign of detachment. And he says, I wander, meaning wandering is a sign of detachment. But then you can wander with group, isn't it? Wherever we go with a gym bag group. You understand? He says, no, wandered lonely. Lonely here means alone, not loneliness, aloneness, with total detachment. I wandered lonely, but not without a purpose. With a purpose like clouds, which gives rain. In giving rain, it gives itself away. You understand? So he was talking to the subjects, the people, with so much concern. So the leadership quality that Lord Ram displayed was commitment without attachment, but not indifferent. It's not indifference. It's true concern. You understand? That's one of the greatest leadership qualities that we need to imbibe. And he also had that samatva bhav. You understand? That he exemplified during the meeting with Guha. Kevat. In North India you call him Kevat. No? In South we call him Guha. That's what comes first in my mouth, because I am from the south of India. So, Kevat, you understand? When he met him, there's balanced vision. In Tamil Ramayan, he says, Guhanodu Aivaranum. Including Rama, there were 4 brothers, isn't it? Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna. When he meets Guha, he says, he is my 5th brother. Guhanodu Aivaranum, where he exemplifies the balanced vision of a leader. You understand? Even in one of the bhajans when Alokji sang, he talked about that balanced vision in that bhajans. Right? So that balanced vision he exemplified. Many places, I'm just quoting one place, where when he meets Kevat. So that samatva bhav. In the Bhagavad Gita also he says, samatvam yoga muchyate. Being balanced in all conditions with all people. One who identifies with the core only can do that. One who identifies with the core is the one who sees the self in all beings and all beings in the self. Understand? To be able to see the oneness and not the differences is an extreme important quality of a leader that he exemplified there. And as he moves into the forest, slowly as the story continues, Bharata, later on when he comes back, poor fellow, he doesn't know anything. Nothing he did indirectly. Definitely not directly, nothing indirectly also. When he comes back, he gets this news. He says, what happened? He gets so angry with his mother. And then he says, rubbish. And he, along with his mothers, with the whole, subjects of the nation, the country, they are going into the jungle to convince Lord Rama to come back and become the king, take the throne. When he's going, because the entire army is also coming, and as they are walking in the jungle, a lot of horses and all that coming, the dhul mitti, the dust is rising in the jungle, and from distance they are seeing something happening. So Lord Rama is telling Lakshmana, just have a look what is happening there. And Lakshmana climbs a tree and sees from there, and he's seeing Bharata coming with his entire army. So he gets even more agitated. He says, what? This fellow has not only thrown my brother to jungle, he is now coming into the jungle to finish off my brother and all of us, so that after 14 years he won't come back to claim it. You understand? So he tells Rama and Sita, please go inside. This fellow is coming, I'll finish him off. Rama just smiles. And he says, you just relax. The fact that you could think like this, Lord Rama is telling, the fact that you could think like this, it looks like you are interested in such things. And when Bharata comes, straight falls at the feet of Lord Rama. I am mentioning this episode to make us understand that as a leader, you have that objectivity and have clear assessment. You understand? Not get swayed away by the situation. See, we all must understand the difference between fact and truth. There are three things: truth, fact, and opinion. Right? Opinion we know. No need for discussion about opinion. Fact is what is seen, heard, what is perceived. Right? What is a fact need not be the truth. This world, this experience is a fact, but it's not the truth. It is mithya. So, Lakshmana saw the scene, is coming with the entire army. So he immediately jumped and said, Arey Baba, this fellow is coming to finish off. But Lord Ram didn't jump like that. He relaxed. He had perfect assessment about his brother, about everything. Didn't go by just the fact. Understand? He perceived the truth in and through the facts. That clarity, that vision is extremely important. What you call as objectivity for a leader. That beautifully is seen in that particular scene. When Lord Rama handles, then after that, Bharata is trying to convince Lord Ram, you come back. Jabali is also talking, the minister. So many people, including Vashishji, All of them are giving logic and reason, saying, you come back. If it was you or me, immediately would have gone. Because mosquitoes, you understand, so many problems in the jungle. Even Gita lecture will keep in an AC hall. You understand? Nice dinner promised after the class. You understand? And then we discuss about the difficulties that Lord Ram went through, sitting and crying, because we are assured of nice dinner. You understand? So, remember one thing about the life in jungle. That is how all of us started originally. Which is what? How do you summarize the life in jungle? Either you find food or you become food. That is life in jungle. So, you can't have nice 8 hours sleep, 9 hours sleep. You have no idea what's going to happen to you. Nothing is assured. And yet maintaining the balance. You understand? What amount of inner growth should have been there to be able to withstand all this. The titiksha, extremely important quality. Putting up with inconvenience cheerfully. What maintains the cheer is the purpose, is the goal, is the unselfishness or the selflessness. Otherwise, you will run away. So he says, all these people are discussing and convincing, trying to convince Lord Ram to come back. That's the situation. After listening to everybody, very politely, he says nothing doing. Pitru Vakya Paripalanam. That's a dharma. He says, if I come now, okay, what is the standard am I setting? The standard that I am setting is that when some conducive situation comes, we can go back on our words. And wouldn't that become established in the public slowly? So therefore nothing doing. I will go through these 14 years. Then Bharat says, then if you are so firm, I will also not rule. I will rule on behalf of you through your Paduka. Then the Paduka Patabhishekam happens, then we know the story. So why I am mentioning this here is, when the discussion happens, how beautifully after listening to Vashishji, who is his own guru, and the minister Jabali, his brother, everybody, how strong and knowledgeable Lord Ram must have been to talk to them, convince them, and send them back to Ayodhya. That knowledge, that depth is an essential aspect of a leader. And you must listen to that discussion. In the Valmiki Ramayana, it's very interesting. All Jabali's thing, if you listen, it's unbelievable. You understand? So, discussions with Bharata and the rest, still he combats it with the inner knowledge, with the depth, and sends them back. And how he beautifully adapts to the crisis. You must learn the crisis management from Ramayana. Ramayana means what? Ramasya Ayanam Ramayanam. The path that Lord Ram lived and showed us is called Ramayana. Right? So the crisis, how to ward off the crisis, how to adapt. That's a very important quality of a leader. Adaptability. Assessment, we talked about earlier, adaptability. And as he moves deeper into the jungle, and when they come to Kishkinta, this Bharat meeting Lord Ram happens in Chitrakoot. Then slowly they go to Kishkinta. And in Kishkinta another interesting episode happens. Why he goes to Kishkinta? In between what has happened in Chitrakoot, Ravana had taken away Ma Sita. So now Lord Ram is going searching for Ma Sita. Right? And they have gone to Kishkinta. Now the purpose is what? To get back Ma Sita. Now he had a choice to choose between Vali and Sugriva. Vali is extremely powerful, and I'm not sure if it is there in Valmiki Ramayana, but in Kamba Ramayana, that is given in Tamil, it is mentioned that Vali has defeated Ravana many times. And when Angad was a small baby in the cradle, he used to bring Ravana and tie him up in the cradle as a rattle. That's the power of Vali. Okay. I'm mentioning this episode particularly because if that is the power of Vali, just going and telling Vali would have finished off Ravana, Ma Sita would have easily come back. That was the purpose. But did he choose that? What was the choice? Dharma. Not power, not convenience, not comfort, no shortcut. You understand? The conviction, the choice of a leader. That's why we call him Maryada Purusha. And because when we are offered the choice, what is the choice we take? That is where the qualities come out, no? So that's why I'm saying, he could have easily gone with Vali. This Vali says in Ramayana, in Kamba Ramayana, after he is killed by Lord Rama, when he sees that an arrow has pierced him from behind, he sees and it says Ram. Ram doesn't do this, and he starts giving so many arguments to Lord Ram. How could you do this thing, that thing? And after all, you wanted to bring Sita. You could have told me. I would have finished off. You went with Sugriva. All this is talking. Who? Vali. And Lord Ram is not interested in all this that Vali is talking. And after Vali is exhausted giving all the logic arguments, he is telling Lord Ram, what is your answer for all these things? And that's when Lord Ram says, oh, I thought you are lamenting out of frustration. I didn't know you are putting forth your arguments for my reply. You understand? Now, if you want a reply, in one line he gives a reply. You deserve this treatment for abducting Sugriva's wife without her permission. No woman is an object of pleasure, or for that matter, nobody is an object. They are being. Please understand, when you are in love, you escalate an object to the level of a being. When you are overpowered by lust, you reduce a being to an object. You love your home, you give it a name. Crescent, Vrindavan, all kinds of names we give. Gandiva is the name of a bow, right? So, when you love an object, you give a name to that object. You escalate it to the level of a being. When you lustfully look at a being, you reduce that being to an object. Vali represents lust. You understand? So Lord Ram said, that act itself is enough for your treatment. You understand? So here, Lord Ram proved his conviction. He didn't care about what people will say much later, that he was hiding behind the tree and killing Vali. He didn't care. All he cared was establishing Dharma. There he proved that he's a principle-centered leader, not a principle-bound leader. Please understand. You should be a principle-centered leader, not principle-bound. In the 14th chapter of the Gita, where Sri Krishna discusses the three gunas, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga is the topic name. The yoga of three gunas, distinction of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. There is a topic, how the gunas bind the individual. And it says, Sattva guna binds the individual, embodied, to knowledge and happiness. Rajoguna binds an individual through action, through activity. Tamoguna binds an individual through indolence, heedlessness, and sleep. He mentions that. So, Sattva, Raja, Tamas all binds you. But a leader should not get bound in any situation. He should have the values, but he should have the sense of proportion. You should be principle centered, not principle bound. You find in the world, like for example, Ravana was also a leader. But what kind of a leader was he? Unscrupulous. No principles. You understand? You can't say that with Lord Ram. Extremely principled, but principle centered, not principle bound. That is the main thing. You always use them, not get bound by them. So that choice, power versus dharma, process versus result, truth versus conviction, not the power. You could have easily chosen Vali if it was to get back Ma Sita. And after killing Vali, did he take away, did he become the king of, what do you call that, Kishkinda? What did he do? He established Sugriva, dharmic person, on the throne. What did he say in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna? Dharma samsthapanarthaya. Right? He said, सात्विक लोगों को प्रोटेक्ट करना, परित्राणाय साधूनाम, विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम. You understand? Dharma samsthapanarthaya. No attachment. Okay, my kingdom Ayodhya didn't come to me. At least now, rightfully, I have killed Vali, so I can sit as the king in Kishkinda. Nothing. Purpose is there to go and get back Sita Ma. So he established Sugriva. And then Sugriva starts getting the chakra. Because when you sit on the throne, it gives you some chakra. You understand? It's a very big nasha. The power. Ma kuru dana jana yavvana garvam harati nimeshat kalaha sarvam. Bhajagovindam Adi Shankaracharya very beautifully says, the following, maja aata hai. You have to be very careful. And he says, harati nimeshat kalaha sarvam. Everybody is now talking about Sanju, Sanju, Sanju. They forgot Virat, Virat, Virat. Obviously they forgot Dhoni. It's a question of time Sanju will also be forgotten. Harati nimeshat kalaha sarvam. Kala eats up everything in seconds before you realize. You understand? So therefore don't get attached. But Sugriva, what happened? Throne gave him nasha. He was, I don't want to get into that, happily, fully drunk, and he was in enjoyment. Lord Rama says, what is happening? This fellow is forgotten. He is forgotten that he will help us to go and get back Masita. Right? Fellow is forgotten. So he tells Lakshmana, go. And Lakshmana goes and gives him an ultimatum. A fellow comes running and says, Arre Babre, what is this showing? Whatever may be the situation, always attune to the goal, a leader. You understand? Always not losing the firmness in the pursuit of the goal. And another important trait, which is also mentioned in the Gita, when he talks about a divine person, a bhakta, etc. Sarva aramba parityagi. It's a very interesting quality. Sarva aramba parityagi. One who never starts anything. What does it mean? It means two things. One is, it's not that one who doesn't start anything. Whatever he may start by chance, he will not have the ego that he started. This knowledge has been flowing from time immemorial. You understand? We are just in between. To arrogate it to oneself is nonsense. So that is one of the meanings of Sarva Aramba Parityagi. Other is, no wise person will start anything without due diligence, without thinking. Thinks 10 times. Especially when we get requests to start a new class. Very careful hona chahiye. That too Bhagavad Gita. Because 700 shlokas and weekly class, you understand? You will do one shloka or maximum 2-3 shlokas in a week. And in between so many holidays comes, then we also give chutti. So you imagine how many years it will continue. Now once you have started, students have the option. They may come, they may not come. You understand? But you have to continue. So a sattvic person thinks twice before starting anything. But if he starts, he will conclude it. He will go to the end of it. You understand? We are all very good in starting. Many things we start. We don't consistently follow that. But you don't see that in Lord Rama. He beautifully, consistently follows that till the end, till it reaches that purpose. That's the conviction. That's why I said, there is always a choice between comfort, convenience and conscience. You understand? And Lord Ram, you will always see choosing the conscience, not the convenience or comfort. And a leader, another important quality of a leader is delegating, not doing everything himself. But when we talk about delegation, there is something a lot of people do, which is not delegation at all. That's called backseat driving. Do you know what is backseat driving? They would have given you the steering, but they are only driving. Ye karo, wo karo. You understand? A leader should delegate and take a back seat, intervene only when necessity arises. Give total freedom. That's called proper delegation. And Lord Rama assesses people and understands that to accomplish the goal, you need the help of everybody, that cooperative endeavor. And he beautifully delegates it. And he delegates a very important job to Hanumanji. He goes to Lanka to assure Ma Sita, we are coming. We know the story. So there he exemplified the quality of leadership in the form of delegation, the art of delegation. And then strategy is very, very important to succeed. isn't it? Strategy is very important. And you will see that strategy in Lord Ram in many places where he, for example, Vibhishana. After Vibhishana gave the counsel to his brother. See, remember this, Vibhishana was always, though he was also one of the brothers of Ravana, Vibhishana was brought up as a minister, whereas Kumbhakarna was brought up as a soldier, as a general. You understand? So Vibhishana gave the counsel to Ravana, but Ravana didn't listen. So came this side, and a lot of people had suspicion, including Lakshmana and all. But Rama understood the quality of Vibhishana, and he said, no, we should take him in our side also. Excellent strategy. You understand? So you will see that forming alliance based on dharma, he did that. Not like how it happens, you understand, in modern context. Not just to win, to establish dharma. Should have that ability, flexibility. You understand? That's a very important quality of a leader. And when there is a duel going on between Lord Rama and Ravana, in Kambarama he mentions, he first takes away all the weapons of Ravana. He destroys all the weapons of Ravana. Then he tells Ravana, Indru poi nalai va. Nalai va. In Tamil. Indru poi nalai va. Which means what? You go back today, come back tomorrow. One opportunity I am giving you. Forgiveness. Doesn't matter what atrocities you have done. You still have a lot of leadership qualities. But if you have a change of heart, you come back after changing, you will continue as the king of Lanka. But if you come back without changing, you will be dead tomorrow. That's the ultimatum. Indru poi nalai va. That compassion, that forgiveness. You understand? Even when the other fellow has lost everything, you still see from the other person's point of view. That you have. That's a very important quality of a leader. See, the more we rise in ladder, the more humble we should become. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. 18th shloka of chapter 5 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. A Brahmana is one who is not only endowed with Vidya, but along with Vidya, you should have Vinaya. You see that in many places in Lord Rama. Compassion, Karuna Murti. You understand? So, forgiveness he exemplified there. And after conquering Ravana, he didn't come back with change of heart. So he had to be killed. Now, after all that, when they were going back, in the Vimana, he is so sharp and concerned about his brother Bharata. Because Bharata had told, after 14 years, if you don't come back, I will jump into fire. And he knows Bharata will do that. So he tells Hanumanji, you are Vayuputra. You are faster than my flight. You understand? Pushpaka Vimana. You go and tell Bharat. And Bharat is already circumambulating the fire to jump in. Hanumanji goes and stops. You understand? That sight, that vision, that concern. And last but not the least, I'll end it with, when we talk about Lord Ram, what they say in Tamil Nadu, in Tamil. I'll say it in Tamil first and then I'll say it in English. When they talk about Lord Ram, they say, Oru sol, Oru vil, Oru il. Oru means one. Oru sol means one word. If he gives one word, that's it. He will live up to that word. Oru sol. Oru will. If he has made the decision after all due diligence and puts his hand behind to take the arrow from his quiver, it will destroy the enemy. Oru will. He just needs only one quiver, one arrow. Oru sol, oru will. Then oru il. Oru il means one wife. You understand? Commitment. See, all it means is commitment to thought, word and deed. That is Lord Rama. That is, in short, Rama. That commitment. There is tremendous congruence in thought, word and deed. Saying something and doing something, not like that. Once committed, that's it. You understand? But before committing, think twice. As long as it is dharmic, he commits. So this few things I thought we will talk about today. And as Alokji said, it's like a fancy dress competition, you know. When we were growing up, we all would have participated in fancy dress competition. And I myself don't know. Now when I think of it, it's very interesting. I remember when I was in my second or third standard, I don't remember, in my fancy dress competition, I dressed up like a priest and went. I didn't know, much later I'll be only teaching. I didn't know. But what I'm saying is, this fancy dress competition and all that, people dress up as Subhash Chandra Bose ji, Bhagat Singh ji and all that, you know. So, without your knowledge, the values go into you. So, it is a great opportunity, the blessing of Lord Rama, that we got an opportunity to talk about it. They say, no, Ram se bada Ram Naam. You just take Ram Naam. It's called Taraka Mantram. Taraka means what? It's a bridge between the samsar and liberation. Self, Atma. So, the more you talk about Ram, the more pure you become. I'll end this talk with a small episode in Ramayana. I think it's mentioned in again Kamba Ramayana, maybe not in Valmiki Ramayana. You know, Ravana had a curse. If he touches any woman without the permission of her, he will die. That's why he didn't touch Sita. But he had a power to assume any form. So people gave ideas to Ravana. Why don't you take the form of Lord Ram? Then Sita Ma will consent. He said, do you think I would have not thought about it? And I even tried it. I tried taking the form of Lord Ram. The moment I took the form of Lord Ram, I couldn't do that. That is Ram. Ram se bada Ram ka naam. You understand? So even if you mention it, it will protect you from harm. It will protect you from all adharma. So let's conclude. Jai Shri Ram.